Picture this for a second. A massive, overloaded freight train, literally groaning as it chugs across the country. It's loud, it's pumping out carbon, and honestly, it's just adding to this sprawling, endless traffic jam of trucks on our highways. Now, I want you to contrast that chaotic picture with a calm, wide river. It's a natural superhighway, right? And it's capable of carrying 10 times that load, smoothly, quietly, and cleanly. Well, that contrast is exactly what this explainer is all about. Today, we're diving into the Jalvahak Scheme, a strategic intervention that is fundamentally rewriting how we move mountains of resources across the country.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start by looking at the logistics bottleneck, then decode the Jalvahak Scheme itself. After that, we'll break down the cargo shift mechanism, navigate the actual waterways being used, dive into the real-world impact and challenges, and wrap it all up with a master recap.
All right, first up, the logistics bottleneck. Basically, we need to understand the massive systemic problem choking India's freight transport right now.
So ask yourself this. Why on earth are we moving 21st century cargo on 20th century roads? It's kind of wild when you think about it. We have this rapidly expanding economy, which naturally means more manufacturing, more goods, more trade. But if we're relying almost entirely on land-based networks designed decades ago, our economic engine is just going to choke on its own exhaust. It's inefficient, it's incredibly slow, and honestly, it's holding back our global competitiveness.
When you put the two models side by side, it's pretty mind-blowing. On one side, you have our default, road and rail, high carbon emissions, skyrocketing operational costs, and networks pushed to their absolute breaking point. On the flip side, inland waterways, a super low carbon footprint, highly cost-effective for bulk goods, and vastly underutilized. I mean, we literally have this massive, natural, green infrastructure sitting right there waiting for us, while our highways are just stuck in permanent gridlock.
So how do we fix this? Let's decode the Jalvahak Scheme, which is our strategic intervention for green logistics. At its core, what actually is this scheme? Well, the Union Ministry of Ports, Shipping, and Waterways didn't just write a traditional infrastructure policy, they designed a behavioral nudge. It's a targeted intervention specifically built to get business enterprises to change their habits. The whole point is to encourage them to adopt inland waterways and integrate multimodal transport. It's about making sure goods arrive safely and reliably, but with a tiny fraction of the environmental impact. Now, to break the inertia of how things have always been done, you need a catalyst. And that catalyst is an initial outlay of 95.4 crore rupees. Don't just think of this as a budget. It's seed money. Approved for an initial 3-year window, this funding absorbs that early friction businesses face when they switch up their logistics models. It's the financial spark to kickstart this nationwide green transition. And the ultimate goal for that seed money? Shifting 800 million ton kilometers of cargo. Let that number sink in for a second. We're talking about pulling an absolutely staggering volume of bulk and containerized cargo directly off our overburdened roads and railways and getting it floating down our rivers. Moving on to the cargo shift mechanism. Let's look at how we actually turn this big policy idea into tangible, day-to-day business operations. You've got two critical players driving this massive shift. First, the Inland Waterways Authority of India, or the IWII. They've been around since 1985, and they are the backbone here, handling the regulation, the physical fairway development, and the terminals. And partnering with them is Inland and Coastal Shipping Limited. As a subsidiary of the Shipping Corporation of India, they bring the heavy-hitting commercial shipping expertise needed to actually make these routes financially viable.
And this mechanism is honestly brilliant. It's kind of like a highway toll in reverse. Check this out. Step 1, a business has cargo going more than 300 kilometers. Step 2, instead of throwing it on a fleet of trucks, they shift that freight onto eligible inland waterways. Step 3, because they made that green choice, the government reimburses them up to 35% of their total operating expenditure. So you're drastically reducing your business costs while simultaneously greening your entire supply chain. It's a massive win-win.
Let's map this out. We need to navigate the waterways and see exactly where these fixed-day scheduled geographic routes are happening.
These aren't just random river trips. We're talking about highly reliable, fixed-day scheduled sailing services. Businesses can actually plan their inventory around this. On National Waterway 1, the Ganga-Bhagirathi-Hooghly system connects Kolkata, Patna, and all the way up to Varanasi. On NW2, the Brahmaputra links Kolkata up to Pandu in Guwahati. And on NW16, the Barak River is integrated via the Indo-Bangladesh Protocol route. It's this incredibly robust, interconnected web driving the whole Eastern economy.
So, what's the real-world impact? Let's jump into a critical analysis of the multidimensional outcomes of this shift.
This whole transformation really rests on 5 major pillars. First, a direct drop in overall logistics costs, which ultimately makes products cheaper for everyone. Second, we get crucial decongestion on our roads, meaning fewer accidents and better civilian travel. Third, a massive drop in carbon emissions. Fourth, it promotes a mode of transport with unmatched fuel efficiency. And finally, it brings real reliability to long-haul cargo in eastern India. It just goes to show you that economic efficiency and saving the environment don't have to be opposites. They can totally drive each other.
But hey, let's keep it real for a second. This isn't magic, and any critical analysis has to look at the hurdles. Rivers are incredibly dynamic. They silt up, they shift. So to keep massive cargo ships from running aground, you have to maintain a consistent fairway depth all year round, which means continuous, expensive dredging. On top of that, we have to rapidly build out modern terminal infrastructure to load and unload all these goods efficiently. If we don't conquer those physical, on-the-ground challenges, sustaining that 800 million ton-kilometer target is going to be really, really tough.
All right, let's bring it all together. Here is your final master recap, your ultimate revision board to lock in these concepts.
If you remember anything from this explainer, make it these visual memory anchors. The Ministry of Ports, Shipping, and Waterways is running the show. Execution is handled by the IWA and ICSL. The big goal is that 800 million ton-kilometer shift backed by a 95.4 crore rupee seed budget over 3 years. It's happening across National Waterways 1, 2, and 16. And the magic behavioral nudge, a 35% operational reimbursement for cargo traveling over 300 kilometers. That is the entire DNA of the policy, right there.
And that leaves us with one pretty profound question to ponder. We are literally watching a structural shift unfold right now, trying to rewrite decades of relying on just asphalt and steel. The true test is going to be whether this targeted intervention can permanently change how a nation moves its wealth. Will the ancient rivers that built our early civilizations become the green backbone of our modern economic power? Keep your eyes on the water, folks, because the future of logistics is flowing right in front of us.